Well, let's begin. I want to go over the syllabus with you, as well as the publisher website that we're going to actually go through. And before we do that, just want to make sure that you have a pretty good grasp of technology a little bit with the with math here online. I know some students do prefer just having math in the classroom. Hopefully, you're geared up to do this online. Well, first things first, we're going to go to the West Hills College website, and we're going to log into your course page. All right, so hopefully you have got to here. You got to the login page. I already have my credentials put in, so I'm going to just put them in here. And then you should be able to go to your Access My Courses site, which is right here. And once you enter, you get to choose whatever courses you're taking. And so in this case, I have a whole bunch of courses because a whole bunch of courses that are listed underneath me here. So I have all this good stuff here. But you want to find the course. The course that you want to find is Math 63 C03. Should look like this, Math 63 C0C, Intermediate Algebra. And I have published it, and it's all good to go as of right now. So let's enter the course. What I have is I have it, the home page is actually set to the syllabus page right over here. So let me change your view of things here, just so your view will be the same as my view on the video here. I'm going to change to student view, so you can kind of see where. So this is what you should see here as you enter. Should be home assignments, all these little things right here. Just real quick here, going off the tabs here. Home, really, you really don't need to get to that one. Assignments is the one you want to get to quite a bit. Assignments, very important. The discussions we're not going to have here. We're going to have those on the publisher website. The grades as well, that will be published on the publisher website. People in the class here, if you need to see that. Files, those would be important. Syllabus, if you want to refer back to this again, that's fine. No conferences scheduled, no collaborations. There's sort of like a chat feature on the publisher website, so I'm going to use that instead of this one here. And the class notebook through OneNote, I'm not going to use that either here. So really, I'm going to show the ones that you really need to know is assignments. You're going to go to that quite often. We'll look at those today. Files, in case you want to access the files right away, have in your disposal. And syllabus, so those three. Assignments, files, and syllabus. So let's look at the syllabus first here. So yes, this is Math 63, Intermediate Algebra. The textbook we're going to use for this course is right here. It's all the information for it, in case you want to get it somewhere else. But we're going to talk about it. And there's an ebook that is available on the publisher website right away. So maybe you won't even need the physical textbook here. All right, my name is Arkady Hengiev. Most students just call me Mr. H, and that's pretty cool by me. All right, the first day of class, I am going to send out a little survey, and we're going to figure out the best time to meet. So what I've done is I scheduled 2 1-hour virtual office hours for this class. So there'll be about 2 hours of time each week that you can log in and have more like a chat whiteboard feature in case there's any issues coming up in the class. All right, my office phone number is right there. And then for the online classes, I do give you my cell phone number just in case, again, for these emergencies, in case you're setting up something to maybe the midterm exam, something happens. So this is for emergencies phone number. All right, and my email address given right there in case you need to. And again, this may be used a lot by you if need be to contact me. All right, so the course description, basically you should have gone through Math 61 or Algebra 1 and you have been placed correctly into this class. The course objectives, I'm not going to cover those in detail because you're going to learn this all throughout the course. The SLOs, this is, they're called Student Learning Outcome Exams. These are 5 things that the math faculty at West Hills College have viewed as deemed as very important. So if you know these 5 things, you've technically mastered the main concepts of the course. All right. Core competencies are given as well. And those are sort of like the themes of learning at West Hills College. If you've taken any class whatsoever in West Hills College, it should fall under one of these 6 categories. All right, but let's go on to the more important stuff here. The lectures. What are the lectures all about? I have pre-recorded all the lectures for this class while I was teaching the Math 63 class last semester. So what I've in a sense done is you have my full class lecture as if you were just in class, and I'll have those available for you. You do have, in a sense, a choice here. You can either listen to the class lectures, or you can just read through the textbook, read it yourself, and figure out the examples yourself. So there's a couple of choices there. All right, you will have online homework to do for this class. There is no paper pencil homework to turn in since this is a virtual class. There will be a calendar set up with assignments, and it's on this website here. It's called xyzhomework.com. That is the publisher online platform for homework. That's where the homework, quizzes, tests, midterm, and final are going to be right there, and your grade book as well. All right, chapter exams, again, still on the same site. And this is very important, especially during the first week here. It is imperative for you to progress through the class. So during the first week, initially, you need to sign up on the xyzhomework.com site by Wednesday. If you have not signed up by Wednesday of the first week of class, I will drop you from this online class, which means you just did not want to attend. Since I can't check whether you're physically attending the class, that's the way I do it. All right, now, throughout the course, as you're progressing through it, if you do not complete 2 chapter exams, that will be grounds to drop you, which really just means that you are no longer really doing the coursework anymore. All right, but if you do want to drop, don't just stop and not do anything else here. Since your academic record is your responsibility, really you should drop yourself if you do not want to no longer participate in the course. All right, another thing that I always get questions on here. Ms. Rich, this is an online class. Do I ever have to come to class or otherwise? Yes, there'll be 2 times during this whole entire semester. You have to come 2 times to campus. One is for the midterm, which is Wednesday, October 19th from 3 to 5 p.m. And it's the room number is P2. And right before that, I'll give you a campus map and anything else that you need here right before the exam date. So mark it on the calendar if need be. Take time off work if you need to be here. It is Wednesday, the 19th of October from 3 to 5 p.m. All right, the other time you'll come to class is for the final. So Wednesday, December 14th is the other day that you have to come in. And really this is to keep up the integrity of the class, because everything is done online. I'm not sure whether I can't be absolutely certain whether you or someone else is doing the work here. So this is a proctored exam. So if you're doing well in the class, you really should have no problem doing well on the midterm and final. All right, so the proctoring of exam. If you do live more than 70 miles away from the Coalinga campus, which some people, yes, there's some people are taking it from Texas or even Maine, Pennsylvania. Of course, you do not have to come to campus. We will have to work out a way that you can go to the nearest testing center, which really is maybe like a community college. Going to that testing center there, or assessment center, whatever they call it, and setting up an exam there. All right, so if you live 70 miles or less, then of course you are expected to be on campus for the midterm and the final exam. All right, and just a little tidbit on contacting me as an instructor. When should you do it, or for what? So if you have general questions about the course, not quite sure of, have questions after reading the syllabus, email me. That's the best way to do it. Then the question is, how do I get synchronous help? Which me and you are sort of going back and forth talking about things here. Okay, this is by taking the survey during the first week of class, and then coming to the office hours, or the online office hours, which I'll have set up. usually by the end of the second week. Okay, if you're stuck on the homework, you have two options here. You can message Instructor about this question, and if you're sort of really stuck, you can do that here. What I really want you guys to do is post this question to the forum. And so if you post it to the forum, maybe another person has already completed that portion of the homework. It may help you. One thing I want to say is don't abuse this. Like every single question, you are always posting to the forum, and that kind of gets a little bit too much. I do keep count of how many people have posted their questions to the forum. Just in a nutshell, don't abuse it. Don't start posting every single question, just getting answers from your classmates. That's not what this class is for. All right, the drop date for the class, you should look at your catalog, but it's usually when 70% of the class is done. Usually it is early November for this class. All right, how the point system works. I broke it up into online homework is 200 points, chapter tests, by the time you finish it, is 200 points, the midterm 200, final is 200. So you got 800 points possible for this class. And the grade scale is the normal grade scale of 90, 80, 70, 60. All right, one more tidbit on grading here, and I want to read this very carefully here. This little highlighted here portion is in addition to your overall score, the average of your midterm and final must be 70% in order to earn a grade of C or above. So just because you got 100% on the homework each and every single time you come in and you get 2 Fs, one on the midterm, one on the final completely, you will still fail the class. And again, this is to hold up the integrity of the class to make sure that you are doing the work. All right. Conduct just means if you're caught cheating or doing other stuff that is not tolerated, I have grounds to drop you with an F, and then maybe possible removal, suspension, or expulsion by the college. All right, at West Hills College, there's also support services. If you need them, if you want to curious about what they can help you with here, please do so. There's CalWorks, there's the Career Center. The one I want to mention is the Disabled Students Program and Services here. So if you think you have a learning disability, if you want to be tested, and so then you can at least have some help with it throughout the semester, please don't hesitate to do so. The phone number is given, it's 934-2331, and they will give you a diagnosis after you've taken a skills test, and if you qualify, they'll give you a little bit of a accommodation for those. I just ask you that you do it in the first 2 weeks of the class, so you don't come to me halfway through and saying, oh yeah, I do have a learning disability I want to get help with. All right, here's the calendar for the class. This is, you will get a more detailed calendar on the publisher website. This is just an overall calendar where you would be here. And the one question that always comes up as students look at the calendar, Mr. H, chapter 9 is missing. There's no chapter 9. And that is true. There's no chapter 9. Chapters 1 through 8 is really the core of Math 63. And then in chapter 9 and 10, I have to sort of make a decision because there's just not enough time to cover 8, 9, and 10. And so in this case, the question is which one's the more important? Is it chapter 10 or 9 is the more important chapter, and chapter 10 is the more important chapter as you go on. Okay, so a few things here. Just note here, here's that proctored midterm exam, again stated on the 19th of October. Here's your proctored final exam stated on December 14th. Okay, take a look at the syllabus. Please read it thoroughly again if you need to. And if there's any further questions, please don't hesitate to email me on that. Okay, the other one I want to show you is the files here. The files, I have links to them as you guys would be doing your assignments here, but in a nutshell, if you want to just sort of see, these are all the lecture notes for the semester. So I've sort of put them all under one little roof here. So if you click on chapter 1, you will see lecture notes ready to go. Okay, chapter 2 likewise here. If you click on it like this, what happens is you get this little panda scrolling, and then what happens is they just give it to you. It's almost like a viewer. The only problem is you can't, when you print it out, it doesn't look very nice. So my suggestion is you click on it, and then you click this little download button right here. After you download it, you open up as Adobe Acrobat Reader like this, or Adobe Acrobat, and once you do that, it's going to look a lot better. And then at this point you can print it out. Okay, what does this have here? This is all the stuff that we're going to cover here. So we're going to cover factorizations first. This is going to be 1.4, and these are the problems I'm going to do on the PowerPoint slides as we do them here, and as you go through these here. Also, what happens toward the last page or last two pages actually give you the answers for them. So if you want to go ahead of me and start working ahead of me, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and do so here. This is just the final answer to the problems here. Okay, same thing happens here, chapter 2. Now in chapter 1, we're only going to go over 1.4. In chapter 2, we're going to go over the whole entire chapter. So now this one again, same thing. You don't want to print it from this point here. You want to be able to download it and then print it as a Adobe Acrobat. So click on download. Take a little while here. Open with Adobe Acrobat or Adobe Acrobat Reader. And then at this point, this is going to be, there's 16 pages here now, so that's a lot. 16 pages. Again, print this out. This will be your lecture notes pretty much, and your practice notes, practice sheets for the chapter 2. Okay, let me close this up. So there it is. There's your lecture notes if you want to get them sort of like right in a nutshell. But I've kind of put them underneath each one. I'm going to add to this right here. I just stopped at chapter 2. Just want to get you guys at least started here. But there's this little introduction. Welcome to Math 63. Watch the video, and this is the video that you're watching right now. And so when you look at this here, you should be able to see right over here. All right, but under assignments, after you've done the intro, just click on week 1. And you'll see again just a welcome. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do for this here. And the one that I want you to really be mindful of, this one right here, it's the course ID number in order to enroll in the publisher website for this class. It's 9328. And we'll go over this in just a bit here. But before we do that, let's talk about this whole concept of, do you need a physical textbook or not? Now, all right, if you do need a physical textbook in your hand and you really can't do math sort of without it, then what I want you to do is you can go to the Kalinga bookstore and get yourself a physical textbook. Now, what you want to do is you don't want to buy a used book, because a used book is not going to have an access code. An access code allows you to access the publisher website. All right, unless you already have an access code and you just need the book, then yes, then get the used book, all right? But what happens on the publisher website, there's actually an ebook already there. So if you say, Mr. H, I don't need a physical textbook, I can work with an ebook, it's no problem. And so in this case, you just want to go to the xyzhomework.com site, register, get everything all done, and then within the 14-day trial period, just pay the $40 to have access for 12 months. All right, so there's the nutshell about the textbook. Do you need one? Do you not need one? Okay, so now let's go back here. First thing you need to do during the first week is register with the publisher website here. You get a 14-day trial version period right away, so you might as well just do it as soon as you can, okay? 9328 is what you need to put in for the course ID number. It's going to have a little button say enroll in a course. You're going to click it, and then it'll just ask you for the course ID number. So 9328 is what you need to go. All right, and then before the 14-day trial version is done, if that's something you want to do and you want to stay in the course, then you can activate your account. And there's like this big red ribbon on the bottom that says your account is going to be inactive. Please activate your account, and then you can just do that by clicking the link. Okay, underneath it, what also you need to do is you need to watch the video lecture of 1.4. It's 51 minutes and 39 seconds. And here's your little lecture notes. So if you want to go, click on that already. And what's going to happen? Hey, look at that, exactly what we're talking about. There's your Adobe Acrobat again. Click on that. Download this real quickly here, because that's going to be your lecture notes. Once that is downloaded, you can start.
The only section.
So this is really just, I did this in class, so you are in a sense doing a video of my classroom, really. You do have a choice here. If you say, Mr. H, I don't care for your lectures whatsoever. I can read this textbook and I can figure it all by myself. Go for it. The reason why is, one of the reasons why we chose this textbook is because it was really geared for students learning by themselves just by reading. Okay, but let's go for it. Let's go to this publisher website, xyzhomework.com. Show you a few things in it here. If you're registering as a new student, go ahead and click over here. You'll have to put your first name, last name, again, your email, some kind of passcode, and then you're going to click register. All right. Eventually, if you want to stay in the class, what you want to do is you want to come down here, and you don't want a textbook, then what you do is you just click over here, online store, and it's going to be an all access or all year access for $40. Click proceed to checkout, and then you'll be given a little code that you need to plug in. And at that point, then you have a 12-month access to this. Let me go back real quickly here. All right, and when you log in, it's going to look like this. You're going to put your email, passcode, log in. All right, I have all these classes here. These are classes I've taught throughout the semester, but the one is eventually when you put in 9328 and you enter the class, what you should see, you're going to see something looks like this. And let's spend some time over here since you're going to do a lot of work over here. If you want to maybe come back to this video from time to time, absolutely, please do so. All right, first things first, when you come to this, you should see a calendar. This is the calendar I want you to follow. So there's 1.4. 1.4 is due by the end of this week on Friday. All these are due to a couple of minutes before midnight of that day. So it's going to be due Friday right before midnight. This one is due right before midnight of the 22nd. So it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 sections to do, and then you have a chapter 2 test. All right, and those are going to be a little different from each other. We'll see what those look like. But essentially what you want to do is you want to be able to do the homework. All right. Before we get to the homework assignment though, let's click on this little answer entry guide here. And it's a download if you want. Now this is just called a math palette. They call it a math quill. So if you don't want to learn the math language and how to put stuff in, you click on this little sort of rectangle with an up arrow next to your answer. Now it doesn't appear all the time. It appears only if it only appears if you have more complicated answers to give. So if you just need to put in a 3, it's really not going to give you that math quill. But if you need to put anything other than that, it's going to be available here. So if you need to put fractions, or the answer is going to be a fraction, there's of course this math quill is going to be here. Exponent looks like square root, any kind of root. Absolute value, parentheses, pi. This is called an infinity symbol. And this does not exist, so it does not exist here. So really, what are we talking about here is this right here. If you don't want to learn a math language, like if it's a rationalize the denominator, which we will do later on in the course, you don't need to know that SQRT really means square root. So you want to be able just to plug it in like you normally would write it on a sheet of paper. And so There's your math symbols and operations. And if you do want to write it out real quickly here, there's other symbols here, just tells you what it is. All right. The one thing that I found, so instead of using the math palette, so you could just use this right here. You click on it, and you click on this one right here for square root, and it'll give you a square root in here, and everything's fine. If you do want to learn the math language, and some students do, and it's kind of cool too, I would learn it. But you'd put SQRT, parentheses, and whatever you want inside here. So the notation would be like this. SQRT, parentheses 7 would be the square root of 7. So this is the math language you would put in, or how you would write it in. So if you don't want to use the math palette and you want to write in pi, just put PI. And that's the language that's used to put it in. One thing of note here, I guess we should look at here, is maybe rational numbers here. Notice this one right here. If you say 2 divided by parentheses 3x plus 5, that parenthesis holds the 3x plus 5 together, so then it becomes visible on the bottom. If you don't have any parentheses, what really is happening here is you're just dividing by the 3. So kind of be mindful of that. Parentheses are very important when you're dealing with rational expressions. All right, back to here. Answer guide. Then I also want to show you this right here. Chapter 1. Notice only 1.4 is here because that's the only section we'll do. Notice there's an ebook. We'll get to that in just a bit here. But underneath here, you'll see some videos. I'll get to more videos a little bit later, but these are just called mini lessons. So if you just want to see what the lesson's about, just a sort of quick intro by the author, that's kind of what you would use these for. So for chapter 2, again, linear and quadratic equations. What is this all about? If you click on it, the author of the textbook, he's going to do a quick mini lecture on it. All right, I think we are ready for the homework assignment here. So let me click on, I think 1.4 would be fine. Okay, it says, let's see, a prime number. So this is the setup here. You can go in any order that you like. There are 15 to 20 questions usually per section. You have immediate response over your grade over here. And you just do whatever it needs to do here. Let's see, as I look at this here, blah, blah, blah. I read this here. I'm supposed to write down prime factors of 196. So I'm going to enter it completely wrong here. Let me just put 3. Notice you can click the little preview button right here. It'll say 3 is equal to 3. It's kind of funny that way it looks at it. But notice you have this little up arrow. If you click on the up arrow, hey, there's your math palette. So if I need to erase this and put a fraction in here, I could put 5 divided by 6. All right, if I thought it was a square root in there somewhere, I can delete all this and say, you know what, actually was a square root of 58. That's what it was. All right, and you can click preview and it'll give you at least decimal approximations here. Okay, and then you could submit. Of course, this is going to be wrong. And so if it's wrong, what you're going to have is you're going to have this little thing that says that you need to redo this. You can keep on going to the next question. Now, if you click on this one, what's going to happen is it's going to reattempt your another question that's similar. You don't want to try this because you've been working on 196 all this time. And so you don't want to do this. You just want to come back over here and start all over again, saying, you know what, I'm not sure what this could be. This could be 34. Of course, that's not true. But again, click and submit again. Still wrong. Shucks. Okay. So now you have some options here. You can go to the video, and the videos sometimes help. Sometimes they're right on the question, sometimes a little bit off. So you click on the ebook, which we'll get to in just a bit here. You'll go to the ebook and it'll go to the section that you're working in. And so if we're working on 1.4, it'll take you to the section of 1.4. You also have some other stuff here. You can either message the instructor about this question. And again, I want you guys to use this if you really are stuck or if you think there's something wrong with the problem. Do this right here. Or if you're not getting anything from this one, this is the one I want you guys to use most. is just post this question to the forum. And again, like I said before, I don't want you to sort of abuse this. I don't want you to get all the answers from your classmates, and they don't actually have to even respond either. All right, so you may post something to the forum and no one answers, so they have that problem. All right, also notice you have 3 attempts per problem. So if you want to be working with the same problem, don't click this button. I don't know why they have it here for. But what you want to do is you just want to work with just with the problem here until you get it right. Okay, once you click it the 3rd time and you don't get it, you're going to have a little X right here. At that point, you said, that's not, you didn't get that problem well. All right, then it says, can you factor this down? Now let me go for something easier. So notice I can click from any ones that I want. Let's see, factor this one down. I think I know how to do this one. Here's a minus 5, a plus 5. I can click preview. In fact, I do like to click preview because then I just kind of make sure that this is correct. Also, sometimes you have this called syntax okay. Whenever you're dealing with variables, it will actually check to make sure it's not whether the problem is correct, but whether it makes sense. The answer sort of, you get the same type of answer for the same type of problem. So it sort of just makes sense, not the fact that it's correct. And click submit. And green is good. Once you see a green here, green there, and then a green check mark here, that means you got it right. You keep on going. I got 1 out of 20 correct. All right, and then when you're done, you can get to see a summary of your scores if you like. So there it is. Hey, look at that, not answered. Look, not a very bad student, not a very good student here. Okay. Okay, so you got 3 times to attempt the problem. That's what you have. Okay. Beyond that, you can, if you want to, you can actually show all 18 weeks of the semester if you like. You can click on that, and notice you got all 18 weeks in front of you. Remember, on the 19th, we have the midterm right over here. And on the 14th is the final. It doesn't show it on here because they are not available to do right now. That's why. But they will be available at 3 o'clock of that day. All right, I probably wouldn't make the calendar that big because then you can't sort of reach on the bottom here. And the easiest way to get to these problems is just click the day that you need to do the problem that you're doing, and notice it shows up here. So if you want to do 2.4, like, yeah, I need to do 2.4 already. Just click on the date, click on that, and you are ready to go. And there's graphing there. I noticed that with the graphing sections, it's a lot easier to do with a computer with a mouse. The iPads, they're good. Sometimes you can sort of get slightly wrong answers there. All right, and you can always go back to the beginning page just by clicking this little thing right here. All right, now let's take a look at the ebook. Ebook comes with the publisher access. It is the exact same thing as the book itself, plus it has some extra stuff in it as well. So 1.4 is the only one we're going to do in chapter 1. If you click on that, this is exactly what the book is all about right here. There's your definitions. You got examples here. And the cool thing is, if you look over here on this side, it says factor 16 to product of primes. It says factor the number 16 to product of primes. So these videos correspond to every single example here. So this video goes to here. And so if you want to, if you read the problem, but you sort of didn't quite get it, like, what, real seriously, number 4, I didn't get that, the way the book explained it. I'm going to click on one of these guys and see if they can explain it. All right. Okay, that's one feature. Features that you do have videos here per problem. All right, again, as I mentioned before, one of the reasons why we chose this textbook is it's really geared for being able just to read it and read it prior to even coming to class. So they get this getting ready for class because they sort of are assuming that the students can even read this even before getting to class. So it's really almost like a self-teaching book. It doesn't have sort of the high vocabulary. All right, it also does have the work problems in the back. So if you want some extra problems to deal with, like, you know what, I just need extra practice on these factoring. I'm not quite sure how I'm getting it. Or I need factoring on binomial of special factors right here. Like I didn't really got this section with the text. So I want to do these. So you can, then you have two options here. You have this answers that comes up. And this is almost like the back of the textbook. It'll give you just the answer. And this is really just a PDF of the back of the textbook here, if you don't have a physical textbook. All right. The other one, which is only online, it's not on the paper version of the text. This is called solutions. And when you click on that, not only does it give you the answer, but it gives you sort of the steps that you would take to get the answer. So really over here, you have everything you need. Now notice it only goes to the odd numbers here, right? Not the even numbers here. So if you wanted to factor 150 x cubed plus 65x squared minus 280x, what would you do? You would take a greatest common factor of 5 first, and then factor down the rest. So it gives you the step-by-step approach to the answers, which is kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. Is this one right here. All right, and the other thing is some students, they like to see a bigger version because this is a little bit too small. So if you click on here, it opens up a new window and it makes it bigger, especially when maybe if you're doing it on an iPad or a phone and you want to see the textbook. Maybe this would be the best way to see it right here. Okay, so there it is. There's the online ebook version as well. There's also a little worksheet view. Again, just a different sort of way to see it or see the ebook here. Okay, I prefer this one because it does have all the stuff in front of me there. All right, so here you go. Hopefully that was enough of explanation. If you say, Mr. H, I didn't get it, or I have some questions about this course, please feel free to email me anything like that.